The Dallas Stars wrap up a 3-game road trip tonight in Chicago, looking for a bounce-back win against the Blackhawks. But they will have to do it without Roope Hintz. I'll update you on him and more on today's episode of Locked On Stars.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of Locked On Stars. I apologize for a later upload today. I've been fighting a sore throat and a cold over the past few days, but I'm ready to go tonight. By the way, I will more than likely have a later episode tomorrow as well. The Ice Rays are taking on the Lone Star Brahmas tonight, so I will be calling that game. I'll have to watch the Stars game later and then get an upload out tomorrow. So just a heads up on that. But be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, never miss an episode of Locked On Stars. Shout out to all you everydayers out there that are rocking along with me every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. So this comes from Mike Heika about an hour and a half ago. Of course, the wonderful senior staff writer for DallasStars.com. DeSmith is in goal. Roope Hintz out with a tweak. Colin Blackwell checks back in for the first time in about a week or so. So no Roope Hintz tonight, which is unfortunate because he's starting to play a bit better here as of late. So a couple of things. I think there's a few reasons for Roope being out tonight. Number one, it is November 27th. No reason to push him any more than he already has been, because if I were to guess, he's probably had this tweak for maybe a few days, a few weeks now, and he was playing through it, so they want to be cautious with him. Number two is you're playing Chicago tonight, which of course is a big game, and Dallas needs to win as many of these Central Division games as possible. But Friday and Sunday, you have Colorado and Winnipeg, and those hold some more weight to them, obviously. Chicago's not a team that's going to be competing for a playoff spot, so of course, you want to get the job done tonight. But if you can keep Roope out for a few days, you get some rest, you have Colorado on Friday night, and then Winnipeg on Sunday afternoon in Dallas, which is a huge, huge game. Dallas needs to make up some ground against Winnipeg and Minnesota, and you have to do that by beating Central Division opponents. And I don't see this as a slight to Chicago, but Dallas isn't worried about the Chicagos of the world in terms of the playoffs and what this means in the future. Albeit, though, with the way Dallas collapsed in the third period the other night, they should be worried about Chicago. But you can keep Roope out, let him rest, and then you can hopefully have him back in the lineup on Friday and Sunday. Blackwell, who we haven't seen in a while, has been really good for Dallas. We know what we're going to get out of Blackwell. He's got 4 points in 15 games. He's just been really, really solid, sort of the Sam Steele of this season. He'll check in possibly on that fourth line. I imagine Dadonov might get moved up. You may see Johnston moved up as well. It'll be interesting to see how the lines shake out. If I had to guess, it's probably Robo, Wyatt, and Dadonov. I think DeBoer has probably liked what he's seen out of Robo and that top line recently, so just throw Dadonov back up there. Allow Bork and Stankoven to continue to marinate a bit. I thought it was interesting looking at the money puck winning chances, the winning percentage of this game. They say Dallas has a 68% chance of winning, but they also show different lines and the expected goals percentage for each line. Obviously, the Duchesne line is way up there, 62% expected goals percentage in 162 minutes this season. That's, of course, the number one line for Dallas. But you look at the second line of Robertson, Hintz, and Johnston, which is, of course, the Stars' top line, but it really isn't at this point. 64% expected goals percentage. But then you go to the third line with Steele, Beck, and Dodonov. And yes, they've only played 66 minutes together, but their expected goals percentage is 66%. A couple of ticks above Roope Hintz, Wyatt Johnston, and Jason Robertson. So that's pretty alarming. And I've hinted to it before, but the best players for Dallas have to start being the best players. They won't go anywhere without Roope, Wyatt, or Jason Robertson. And the fourth line, which is Stankov and Ben and Bork in this situation, 38% expected goals percentage. Very, very low. Very, very low. But Bork is still figuring it out. I think he's playing better. Hopefully that's a line that can see great improvements over the next few months. That's what we're hoping for. Otherwise, DeBoer's going to have to get in his bag and figure out something, figure out a way to get this offense going. And we have seen the offense wake up recently. I do want to be fair. Robo and Roope have looked better. I think Wyatt has been more engaged, has had some better looks and chances recently. But, 3 goals for Wyatt in the first 20 games, like, he needs to pick it up too. There's a lot of stars you can point to other than Duchesne, Marchment, and Sagan that need to start finding the back of the net. But I thought that was really interesting from Money Puck. The expected goals percentage from some of these lines, it basically shows Duchesne. Here's the breakdown of your 4 lines. Duchesne line, Hintz, Steele, and then Ben. Who would have thought Ben and Stanky and Bork would be your quote-unquote fourth line this season? But I think they're starting to improve. So a lot of work to be done offensively on the offensive side of things for Dallas. But I will say, with scoring 4 goals the other night, you hope you can shut down a team as good as the Carolina Hurricanes. So Roope Hintz is out with a tweak. We don't know what it is. I would assume, I'm just guessing here, lower body possibly. Could be completely wrong on that. So we'll find out more, of course, but he is out with a tweak. Casey DeSmith in goal. DeSmith is 5-2-3 this season. 2-3-0 this season. .914 save percentage, 2.22 goals against. He's been pretty good. Did not fare very well in that Anaheim game. He stopped 23 of 24. So, he's had some roller coaster starts recently, but for the most part, he's been pretty steady. So DeSmith gets the start tonight without Roope Hintz. I'm really curious to see what the lines are going to be. I think you just keep everything similar. You move Dodonov up to that first line. Blackwell checks in as your fourth line winger, and you go from there against a young Chicago team that, again, it's going to be a good test for Dallas. I'm going to say this about every game because the Stars haven't shown that they can really shut down other teams, good teams, and they really haven't even shut down some of the average teams, really, are below average teams. There's a lot of work to be done, and they've found ways to lose some games. Special teams, again, is going to be a big factor because I've shared my 2 cents on that, so I'm going to spare you on the special teams conversation. We may bring it up tomorrow, depending on how tonight goes, and we'll go from there. But no Roope Hintz tonight. Niels Lundqvist, by the way, an update on him. Still not ready, but he is skating. So hopefully he's starting to improve too, because would love to have him back in the lineup. He's been a really, really good, solid D-man for Dallas this season. Okay, let's go ahead. Preview the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. We'll update you on what we've seen from the Blackhawks since the Stars and Chicago have last met, which has already been 2 times this season. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Built Rewards. With the seasons changing, I'm already dreaming of warm weather, that warm weather getaway, even though it's not too bad here in Dallas, Texas. It's actually the best weather probably in the country right now. And Corpus, it's even better. But I love using points for travel and always looking for ways to earn more to book your next flight. Here's a life hack. Get Built Rewards. It lets you earn points on rent payments and redeem them towards flights, hotels, and a lot more. One of your biggest investments should get you more than just a roof over your head. Let me explain. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels, airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points towards. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNHL. That's joinbilt.com/LockedOnNHL. Make sure to use the URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNHL to start earning points on your payments today. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You want to go to a Stars game, you want to go to a Dallas Cowboys game before their season's over, Mavericks, you name it, comedy, theater, they have it on Gametime. Download the Gametime app on your smartphone. You get all-in pricing up front. You get a panoramic view from your seat before you buy, and they have the lowest ticket price guarantee, or Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Well, what time is it? Gametime. Alrighty, so the Stars taking on the Blackhawks for already the third time tonight this season. In the previous two matchups, the Stars have won 4-2 and 3-1 at the American Bank Center. So the first trip to the United Center here tonight, they will finish up the season series on December 29th in Chicago once again. Dallas is 13-7-0 this season. The Blackhawks are 7-12-2. Taking a look at the last 10 games, the Blackhawks are coming off an overtime loss at the hands of the Philadelphia Flyers, 4-5-1 in their last 10. Dallas is 6-4-0. They should be a bit better, as we all know, but that's where the Stars stand so far in their first 20 games this season. We could see Mrazek or Soderblom. We've seen both of them already this season, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Mrazek started in the first game. Soderblom was really, really, really good in one of the games last month, I believe. But his overall record isn't very good, but his numbers are pretty decent. I mean, 1-4-1 record, but has a 2.36 goals against average and a 926 save percentage. They're being led by Connor Bedard, which isn't a huge surprise. 15 points in 21 games this season. They've added a lot of veteran talent. Tara Vinen would like to get going, just 10 points in 21 games this season. They lack a lot of depth, right? That's sort of Chicago's weakness right now. Just not a lot of depth, but Bedard is dangerous, and the two games the Stars have played Chicago have been a bit too close for comfort. And I've talked about this recently, where you just hope Dallas can win some of these games more comfortably. Sometimes it takes a lot of work, a lot of injury to put some of these teams away, as you would expect. I mean, it is the National Hockey League. I don't want to disparage any of these teams, but with the way you look at teams like Winnipeg and Minnesota, the way they're handling some of the bottom feeders in the lead, it's not even a chore for them. It just feels like they blow them out of the building. And Dallas has allowed some of these teams to hang around a bit. So we'll see how they fare tonight. It's another good test, right? Their power plays at 14th in the NHL, 20%. PK's not great, just 78%, which is about middle of the pack as well. They usually get killed on the face-off dots at 45%. Their goals for aren't very good, 31st in the NHL, and they're giving up 3 goals per game. But their goals for at only 2.33, so they're really struggling offensively. And for as much as Dallas has had their issues, I mean, they're still averaging 3.45 goals per game, which is 7th in the NHL. I'll tell you, it doesn't feel like that at all. It's almost surprising that Dallas doesn't have a few more wins in the bank when you look at just their kind of overall numbers. Like, they're 4th in the league in goals against and 7th in goals for, and they've lost some games that are kind of mind-boggling. And a lot of that has to do with their special teams, right? They usually get better goaltending on the night. They usually have the better talent offensively, but special teams has been their demise in multiple games this season. I think I can put probably 5 games on my hand where really special teams lost in the game. Washington early in the season, Buffalo, the other night against Carolina's another. That's 3. You could probably throw Anaheim in there, and there's one more that kind of eludes me, but there's 4 or 5 games that Dallas has straight up lost just because of ineptitude, really, on special teams, whether that's the power play or PK or a combination of both, like we saw on Monday night in Carolina. So either Mrazek or Soderblom in net tonight for Chicago. Still do not have a confirmation on who it will be. Seth Jones, by the way, did suffer a foot injury a few weeks ago, and he's expected to miss about 4 weeks or so. So no Seth Jones, which is a bit of a shame. Always fun to see the Dallas, Texas native. Taylor Hall, by the way, really slow start offensively, just 6 points in his first 20 games this season. So some of the veterans that they have added, like, Craig Smith, Teravainen, Bertuzzi, haven't really found their offensive footing yet this season, which I guess is to be expected to some point. They're still a rebuilding team. They're still in the rebuild mode. So there's a lot of work to do. But you look at their best line in terms of expected goals percentage is Taylor Hall, Bedard, and Teravainen, which I guess isn't a huge surprise. 74% expected goals percentage. That's a line they've just kind of thrown together recently. They've only played 11 minutes so far this season. Lucas Reichel's a good player too. He's a young guy to keep an eye out on tonight. Just 22 years of age. He's a fun watch. We've seen Bedard with Foligno at points in the first 2 games of this season series. It seems like they're trying to put some veterans around him. But I mean, he really isn't the big question on this Blackhawks team. It's the others that need to help out offensively. But they have guys that forecheck hard, like Foligno, and you have Bertuzzi. Like they've given the Stars fits, right? They're pretty big on the back end. Not a ton of talent, but they have some skill. They have some big bodies. So again, another great test for Dallas. It's a big game. It's a fairly big game. I even hate to kind of use that, but it feels like a big one for Dallas to respond once again, as they've done pretty well so far this season, and kind of right the ship again. They go on the track for about a mile or 2, and then it diverts a little bit, and then kind of get it back on. It's a little wobbly, it's shaking a bit, but it's moving. It's continuously moving. It just needs to be a bit more steady. I think a lot of us would like it to be more steady here tonight against the Blackhawks. I will not be able to put out an episode early tomorrow, as I mentioned. Calling a game tonight, and then at some point I'll be able to watch it. I'll probably just watch it when I get home and stay up till 3. By the way, Victory Plus app, it's not good for rewatching games. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's really, really bad. The fast forward button is atrocious. It's atrocious. They need to fix it. That's my big complaint. The worst, so bad. So bad. I don't want to dive into that too much, but as someone that has had to watch games after they play multiple times this season, not fun. Not fun on the Victory Plus app. Okay, just going to throw that out there. It wouldn't be a Locked On Stars episode without me griping about something. That's sort of the theme of this season. That's just the theme. I feel like last year I was just happy-go-lucky the whole time. Not this time. Very negative. Okay. Shooting Star. Speaking of positivity, we get Shooting Star tonight against the Blackhawks. Let me know yours in the comments below. I'll share mine in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get that hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Shooting Star, everybody's favorite segment here on Locked On Stars. It probably isn't, but it's one of my favorites. We try to acknowledge the MVP of tonight's Stars game. I have really struggled this season. I feel like I was on an absolute heater last year and maybe not last year, but the last few months of the season. Couldn't get one wrong. It hasn't helped that, some of the key guys for Dallas haven't necessarily been dominating this season, but I digress. Tonight against the old Chicago Blackhawks, though, feels like a big Tyler Seguin game. I would love to choose him, but I've chose him way too much this season already. So I'm gonna go with Sam Steele, sneaky fourth line pick. Give me number 18. Sam Steele has been very good this season. Again, just so consistent. What don't you like about Sam Steele? What don't you like? You don't have a reason. You don't have a reason because he's been so consistent, been such a good piece in addition for the Dallas Stars last season. I'm going with Sam Steele for a big night in Chicago. How about that? I'm going with the bottom 6. Let me know yours in the comments below. Can't wait to take this one in a bit later tonight. 7 o'clock puck drop, I believe, in Chicago. Let me confirm that. 7:30. Oh, a late one tonight at the United Center. Should be a fantastic one here this evening. So, Stars, Blackhawks, game 3 of 4 this season. Let me know your Shooting Star. Let me know your predictions. Give the score predictions in the comments below as well. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Almost to 2,500 subscribers this season, or this, I guess, on the channel, I should say. Sorry, it's been a whirlwind of a few days. As you can probably hear, I just sound awful. It is the cold that's coming in. It's just it's throwing my whole equilibrium out of whack. So let me get out of here before I discuss to you even more. Have a great day. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll see you on Thursday and the weekend. We got the Avs coming up. Have a fantastic night, and we'll see you tomorrow. So long, Stars fans.